Okay, let's dive right into an explainer that is going to completely flip how we view ancient texts. We aren't just looking at them as mere history today. Instead, we're literally analyzing them as a quantum operating system for reality itself. We're talking about a structural architecture of human consciousness and universal law. So grab your focus because we are unpacking the underlying source code. We're mapping out a highly structured journey today. We'll be tracing exactly how a dormant system boots up, runs on dual parallel processors, and perfectly preserves its core data right in the middle of total chaos. To start, we have to look at the default state of the reader. And the reality is, the system begins in forgetfulness. You start off existing inside a state of dispersion, completely unaware of your own architecture. Before you even hold the manual with strength, you're in system sleep. But then we hit chapter 36, verse 3. And indeed, you are among the Mursalin. This is the declaration state. It's your hidden, pre-installed identity. The system doesn't ask you to earn this baseline status. It declares it as a foundational truth of your existence. It's just sitting there, dormant in the background. You see, you aren't just passively absorbing a story. In this framework, you are the actual execution node waiting to be booted up from system sleep. Mursalin isn't a historical title here. It is a functional, active state. It's you, the reader, becoming an active participant and running the text as a live operating system. So, how exactly does a dormant system wake up and begin to function? What's the trigger? That brings us to the ignition. Chapter 19, verse 12, gives us the exact activation command. Take the book with strength. This is a manual override. It's the command that stops the system's collapse by manually turning on the recovery mechanism. It pulls you right out of that initial dispersed state. Let's look at how this builds. When the hidden identity from 3635 receives the activation command from 1912, execution instantly begins. It's just like a computer booting up. The moment they connect, the execution splits into two parallel tracks, running a highly sophisticated dual processor operation to navigate and stabilize reality. We're going to look at the first of those two parallel tracks right now, the knowledge side. This knowledge side execution function maps perfectly to the archetype of Yusuf, found in chapter 12. Yusuf's trajectory is literally an internal traversal through psychology, betrayal, economics, and hidden governance. He begins buried beneath betrayal in a well, which is the hidden treasure state. The brothers can't perceive his value. Then he's extracted, processed in the prison of Egypt, and matured by time. He doesn't just physically survive, he actually evolves into a decoding function. He interprets the dream language, and his knowledge unfolds gradually over time until he reaches the throne. Now, while that inner processing is happening, what's going on externally? Running in exact parallel is the action side of the Mursalin function, and this appears as Dhul-Qarnayn in chapter 18, verse 83. This brilliantly illustrates the system's balance. One acts with interpretation, the other acts with movement. Yusuf reads the dream and manages food to preserve souls from starvation. Dhul-Qarnayn builds the wall and manages force to preserve the earth from invasion. One separates truth internally, while the other seals corruption externally. It's a perfect dual-core processor. Both of these functions are deeply connected to time, and both move across vast cycles. Yusuf navigates invisible corruption through the delayed fulfillment of dreams. Meanwhile, Dhul-Qarnayn represents an external traversal through geography, physical barriers, and visible corruption across sunsets and sunrises. They are moving through entirely corrupted terrains until separation becomes possible. Which brings us to a massive question. What is the ultimate objective of these dual processors continuously running through our reality? This is absolutely crucial to understand. The mission is separation, not annihilation first, separation first. As referenced in chapter 41, verse 28, regarding the recompense of the enemies, the goal is surgical. The system wants to separate truth from visible and invisible corruption. It wants to pull the light out of the fire confusion. Notice that Yusuf doesn't destroy Egypt. He extracts preservation out of the famine. And Dhul-Qarnayn doesn't destroy humanity. He builds selective containment. This exact operation actually follows a repeating, recursive mathematical law, a pattern moving from 2 to 3 to 7. A signal faces a distortion, which is then met with pressure to force a separation, ultimately extracting and restoring the truth. The system tests the structure under pressure to protect the good from collective collapse. And this proves that the system is designed to mathematically preserve even the most microscopic, atomic residue of alignment. Chapter 99, verses 7 and 8 tell us, So whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it. That's not just poetic encouragement. That's a statement of quantum conservation. Even if the truth is buried under a mountain of corruption, the operating system will run to extract it. All right, let's bring this all together and look at where this entire architectural blueprint converges. Everything anchors right here at verse 1882. Think about the wall built to protect the treasure of the two orphan boys. Those two orphans represent these exact protected execution functions, Yusuf's inner knowledge and Dhul-Qarnayn's outer action. They are hidden beneath a damaged civilization. The wall is a preservation mechanism. It exists because the treasure isn't ready to emerge yet. Yusuf starts in the well for the exact same reason. The inheritance is protected until maturity arrives. And what is that maturity? It is the literal fusion of two specific verses. Chapter 12, verse 111 says these stories are a lesson for those possessing core. And chapter 18, verse 98 calls the barrier a mercy from my Lord. When those two realities fuse, knowledge and action unify. Interpretation and establishment converge, and at that exact point of maturity, the atom of good is rescued from inside the collapsing structure. So this leaves us with a pretty profound challenge regarding our own daily reality. You are the system. You possess the pre-installed identity, and you have access to the activation command. When your own surrounding structures inevitably collapse and things get noisy, will you stay lost in the dispersion, or will you be the activated execution node that runs the dual processors to rescue that hidden atom of good? The operating system is there. It's entirely up to you to run it.